So the exciting news for today is that I'm going to be working in the garden here a little bit. Now, you can see I don't have a ton of space in my backyard that's not grass or that isn't shaded by a bunch of coniferous trees in the back. What I do have is I've got this bed right here. So in this bed, we've got all the way right here, we've got slicer tomatoes. We have just a house plant. Then we've got some cherry tomatoes here. We've got cucumbers here, jalapeno here, bell pepper here, and then lastly a zucchini down here. Now the rest of this stuff down here is marigolds and dahlias. But let's get right down here on the ground so you can see how tall this is. I got this cherry tomato, so it would have been halfway through quarantine, so about 4 or 5 weeks ago. He's now 6 feet tall. So we've got a 6 foot tall cherry tomato, and my cage stops right here. Now my problem is, how am I going to support this cherry tomato? Now the nice thing is we've got the pergola behind us, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some string today, and I'm going to connect that to the top of the pergola, and I'm going to just allow this cherry tomato, I'm going to tie off the ends and wrap it around the vine and move it that way. And what it is going to do is it's going to provide this little corner back here with a little bit of shade. The other thing that I'm also going to do is I'm going to take this cucumber that's down right here, and I am going to tie it right here so that it climbs right up the pergola and provides a little bit of shade. So I've got limited room in my beds, and I've got limited support that I can provide these things through cages. And what I'm stepped on a nice thorn here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create some shade, and I'm going to maximize the room that we've got in the beds just by taking everything vertically. If I really wanted to grow a massive garden, I would have to till up this area of grass right here. Kind of like that we have an area of grass there, an area of grass on the other side. Based upon where the house is, we don't get a ton of light back in this area as much. So that's most of that shaded. So this area gets probably 4 hours of full sun. If you've got a garden, you're looking for something that has at minimum 6 hours of sun. But I have noticed that my tomatoes do actually enjoy about 4 hours of full sun and another 1 to 2 hours of filtered sun. And when I say filtered sun, it's coming through the trees here. I mean, you've got ambient light that's going on. I'm not sitting directly in the sun right now, but I'm still receiving the energy from the sun. So based upon that, photosynthesis works just fine with these tomatoes, and they don't need to be out in the middle of a field. Now that being said, the other area that I have on the other side over here, I've got arugula planted in there. I have strawberries planted in there. The only difference is that there's a fence, and that's what I use to support things. So let's take a look here. You can see I've got a full bed of strawberries all the way across there. And I was digging through here last night, and I actually came across some really big strawberries. So right here, let's take a look. Pull that back. Take a look at that. Some pretty big strawberries. So we're utilizing just the perimeter or the fringe edges. Oh, heartbreaking. Look at this. I saw this strawberry yesterday and I thought to myself, this is gonna be a delicious strawberry. Must have been the same thought that the squirrel had that came and ate this thing. So disappointing. And this is the downside. If I really wanted to get all these strawberries out of here, I'd build myself a nice frame with some metal mesh over the top of it, but I don't. Back here I've got, looks like a mess. That's just a bunch of arugula. I let it go to seed. I've got some carrots that are in there as well. You can see some of these carrots that are up over the top as well, and they're going to seed. So I've just got a mix of everything back in here, and this is one of the few areas that gets great full sun. So I'm really tempted to rip all the strawberries out of here and plant something in there that I can get maybe more tomatoes. I could use more tomatoes. Now that I've figured out how to make my own marinara sauce, where you just basically take the tomatoes and bake them with a little bit of olive oil in the oven for 45 minutes. I mean, it is primo, so good. maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe that'll be my next project. Goodbye strawberries. Hello tomatoes. Have a great day, guys.